Well, one of the main features we have this time is really just as you can see in the character select screen, 40 characters, so the largest roster in the series history.
Now, this is a mix of old returning classics, I'm sure, and then how many? You guys got a whole slew of new ones?
そうですね、もちろん今までの鉄拳5の時にいたキャラクター全部いますし、そこに加えて、新しく6キャラクターさらに増えているので、これからやる人も今までプレイしてくれた方もみんな満足してもらえるぐらいキャラクターたくさんいます。
So of course everyone's favorite characters from Tekken 5 will be returning, plus 6 new characters that were added in 6 and then Arcade Bloodline Rebellion. So we think there's enough characters to please everyone, fans of the series and people who want to check it out for the first time.
Well, let's go ahead and jump into a couple modes now. You guys have obviously the standard versus mode on the console, but you have an arcade mode and a few other new stuffs, right?
そうですね、もちろん今回は今までにあったような普通のいろんなモードももちろんありますし、で、そうですね、オンラインで、もちろん対戦するモードもありますし、ソウルキャリバーなんかに入ってたような、そういうフィーチャーみたいなのは大体今回鉄拳にも一通り入っています。で、加えて、対戦だけじゃなくて、友達と協力して遊ぶモードだったり、一人で長く遊べるモードだったりっていうようなところも用意してます。
Well, as you know, Tekken's always been known for its variety in the modes. Of course, the arcade gameplay is going to be based off of the latest installment in the arcade, so it's the latest gameplay there. Plus, the new main feature we have, well, of course there's the online versus, but something that maybe the fans aren't aware of is the new scenario campaign, which allows you to play cooperatively with a friend online. So that's a new big online feature there.
Like Tekken tag style or one at a time?
鉄拳タッグとはまたちょっと遊び方が違ってて、そうですね、今までのちょっと鉄拳ホースともかなりまた内容を変えていて、2人で大量の敵をどんどん倒していくっていうような内容になってます。後で少し、操作とかも加えて説明しようかなと思います。
Well, you know, it's quite a big change from the Tekken Force modes that have been in the previous titles, just because of the controls and the movement. We'll touch on that a little bit later when we get past when we get into the scenario campaign mode. So just to go on about the arcade and the basic gameplay. じゃあ、もしもし
今回新しく入っているこのテクノロジーとして、もうフルタイムの可変型アニメーションブラーっていうのを入れてるんです。でこれ意外と今までの格闘ゲームでは入ってこなかった要素で、やっぱり今までやっぱりゲームっていうのは次世代機になって透明で綺麗な絵を目指してたところあると思うんですよ。格闘ゲームにとって一番重要なのはやっぱり動きで、アニメーションしていかに綺麗に見えるかってところがすごく重要で、これを60分の1フレームでこのフルタイムのアニメーションブラっていうのを実現して、これだけの動き、素早い動きとかをスムーズかつダイナミックに見せようってやった試みたのは、今回このゲームが初めてなので、そこも注目してほしいですよ。
One of the new features that we've actually implemented is the full-time animation blur. And what this is the characters' motions, they have a blur added to the various parts of their body, and the intensity of the blur changes depending on their particular motion and the speed of it. And this is done in real time while the game is still running at 60 frames per second, which is something you don't really see in games recently. So this is something that really stands out, we think.
Gives it a little bit more of a faster kind of frenetic feel.
した感じですかね。
そうですね、素早く動いてるようにも見えるし、逆にやられ側ですよね。こうノックダウンされて切りもみやられしている方のやられ方だとか、画面のこう振動で揺れた時のブレ方とかっていうのにもものすごい影響があって、迫力が増してます。
Well, not only does it look faster, it's just a lot of other games, they kind of look good in screenshots and as a clear picture. But this game, the motion blur makes it look really natural. And not only the character performing the actions, but the character that's being attacked, you know, they're flying through the air, spinning. And the animation blur really adds to that, makes it look more natural and believable.
Any fundamental changes to the fighting game system? I don't know.
やっぱ変化あったところは、 レイジシステムというのがあって、非常に体力がピンチになっても、攻撃力が増すので、もう9対1ぐらいの割合の関係でも逆転が可能っていうのと、あとはやっぱりバウンドコンボで普段使えなかった相手をバウンドさせることで低い位置普段使えないような、空中コンボには入れれないような技で相手を叩きつけて、すごいダメージを奪ったり、あとフロア破壊ですね、フロア破壊、ウォール破壊っていうのがあって、破壊した後にステージの展開が変わるので戦略が変わるって、こういう要素がいくつかあります。
It actually added a lot to the basic gameplay as well. First off, there's the rage system, and what this is when you deplete your opponent's life gauge to a certain amount, the gauge flashes red and their attacks are powered up until the end of the match, or yours as well if you're in that situation. And what this does is it kind of keeps advanced players on their toes and gives novice players a chance to come back if they're not doing so well. So it keeps the game interesting until the end. Another is the bound system, and what this is some moves that players might not have used so much in previous installments really come to life now, because you can do an aerial juggle on your opponent and then use this particular move to bounce them off the ground and then continue your combo. So this makes it more exciting and over the top, and it's a really great feature we have. Also the stages. There's breakable walls and floors, and not only is this cool to look at, but it changes the strategy of the game. As you might widen the stage, or you'll drop down into a different size arena, so you kind of got to adapt your strategy because the wall might be farther away, and it kind of affects the combos you might choose, and it really changes the gameplay.
Now, if we can stop for a moment and talk about what it is that we're actually seeing right now. So, are you guys straight up calling this like force mode like it used to be, or?
やっぱり鉄拳フォースっていう名前がついてるんですか？
いや、これ鉄拳フォースという名前でシナリオキャンペーンというふうに今回の名前を付けてます。
Actually, it's called the scenario campaign mode, and what you're looking at now is the new mode that we were mentioning, the big new feature for Tekken 6.
やっぱり今回シナリオキャンペーンでも呼んでるのは、単純に、大量の敵を倒していく一本道ではなくて、マップで分岐があったら、プレイヤーが分岐を選ぶこともできますし、各ステージものすごくボリュームもあるので、そのステージをクリアすることに鉄拳のストーリーが今回展開していく、それを、楽しむことができるのでシナリオキャンペーンモードというふうに呼んでます。
And the reason why it's called scenario campaign is just the volume of this mode is really much more great than past installments. And not only that, it's not just simply going through a linear mode as in past installments. You have a map, a world map, and you can kind of choose your path through the game. And not only that, but there's in-game cutscenes at each stage that kind of help portray the background story of Tekken 6. So the volume is just totally different, and there's actually story elements to the mode. So we felt that scenario campaign was an appropriate name.
There are guns in here as well.
そうですね、今回こういうガンだけじゃなくて火炎放射器があったり、棒があったりで、逆に敵なんかも殴ってくるだけじゃなくて銃を使ってきたり武器を使ってきたりというふうに襲ってくるので、それに対抗してこういうふうに武器が使えたりというフューチャーもあります。
So not only are there guns, there's like flamethrowers and other weapons as well, and of course you'll be able to use these, but your enemies will use them against you as well. So you want to pick up a weapon and really make use of that to help clear the stage.
Speaking of making use of weapons, I believe I just saw that young lady take her head off and hit somebody with it. Is that what I saw?
なんか頭外して投げつけたんだけど。
そうですね、今回は新しいキャラクターのこのアリサっていうのは全身ロボットで空を飛ぶこともできるし、ロケットパンチすることもできるし、首を使った攻撃とか首が爆弾になっているので相手に渡して爆発させたりとか、そういう変わったことができるキャラクターなんです。
Actually, that's a new character, Elisa, and she's actually a robot, so she can fly, shoot her arms off as missiles, she can take her head off and give it to an opponent and it explodes, so it's a really exciting character.
今回のこのシナリオキャンペーンのすごくいいところは、フリームーブの左のアナログスティックでフリームーブ、もしくは L1 ボタンを押しながら8方向パッドでいつでもフリームーブができて、でその普通の8方向のパッドだけを使うといつもの鉄拳操作になる。だから自由移動と従来の鉄拳の何でも技が出せる、 格闘モードっていうのを2つをハイブリッドにした操作方法なので、アクションゲームと格闘ゲームがもうかなりうまく融合したような、かなり操作系としては面白い内容になっています。
One of the great improvements is actually the hybrid control system we have this time. When you're close to an enemy, you can use the directional buttons as you would in the normal fighting modes, and you have all of the techniques that are available to that particular character. But the new feature is really you can use the left analog stick or the L1 button in conjunction with the directional buttons to kind of enter a free run. So you're free to move around the stage as you wish. And this really frees up the player to kind of move around the stage how they would want to. And really cuts down the frustration and makes it an enjoyable experience, I think.
I'm gonna get in trouble from the audience if I don't start throwing some questions from them your way. So if that's okay, I'm gonna get some questions. I got Jess Parr out of Williams Lake. He wants